Oops. I slept yesterday. For too long. So I'm here today, not sleeping when I should be, but I'm not. What I did do, though, the voice cracks aside, what I did do was read far too much Berserk. I watched far too many Berserk video essays today, because I was feeling a little demotivated with God, the voice cracks are coming fast and furious right now. It's a sign I need to up my projection. But yeah, so what I did do was watch far too many Berserk video essays. Is there such a thing as far too many of those, though? Not in my opinion, no. And yeah, I was feeling a little demotivated about my own storytelling capabilities, and I felt like I needed some inspo from one of the greats, from one of my favorite storytellers of all time. That is a Mr. Miura himself. And my God, if I can just gush about that for a second, maybe I should put some art on screen. My shoddy facsimile of what is art, anyway. I'm dead. 1 second. I'll get free. Ah, Christ. Here I am, I think. Hello? There he is. There I am. Well, it's not tracking my mouth, but I can hear myself. Hey, yo. Where you at? Hello, testing. Alright, we're good now. And I learned, I rekindled my interest in a lot of what Berserk does so effectively, one of which being its flair for monologue. I hadn't really considered monologue as a tool, with a few rare exceptions. I had anticipated using it myself in my own storytelling, but I found myself trying. I wrote a few for characters that have not yet appeared within the 8 pages that I have shown on stream, but I have, considered it now. And there was some interesting stuff to come about. It was a good exercise at the very least. Sort of getting into your own characters' heads, and that's kind of what Berserk does best. I think it's what it does better than a lot of series, is it kind of gets into the mind of its own characters. And it allows for, one thing that I've always appreciated about Berserk was that it allows its characters to change. It allows for a lot of change. It allows characters to change themselves, each other, the circumstances and the environment around them, which also in turn shapes them again. It just kind of becomes this whole interconnected web of moments building upon moments and changes building upon changes that lead into more changes organically, because it allows the characters, or Miura allows his characters rather, to feel human and that they react to things, but also while he does that, he allows it to build upon the themes of the story and each character. It's so seamless what he manages to do. I will always be eternally envious of that man and his storytelling capabilities. I had so many other points. I was monologuing to myself walking around my own house, thinking about how I would phrase this while I was starting stream. And yet now that I've thought about all of that, it kind of just eludes me. But there was a lot of thoughts running through my mind. Needless to say, at the end of all of that, I did start feeling invigorated again. Reinvigorated, I believe, is the word for that. About storytelling and about what I could do with the medium, what can be done with the medium in general. I still don't know how I would pace flashbacks or monologues, which are tools that it uses a lot. Well, I wouldn't say a lot, but frequently. There are narrative parallels between flashbacks and other moments. I was reminded of the Chich arc. For anyone who knows that arc, one of the shortest in Berserk, but one of the more impactful ones, I would argue, for the length of its content especially. And its narrative parallels to Guts healing on the boat, when he says something feels warm that is healing him. And it is likened to, in the video essay I saw recounting the events of those 3 short chapters, Chich arc. What he talks about a similar warmth when Chich is healing him. And it's just it's a little thing like that that makes you wonder how much of that was pre-planned and how much of it just sort of was come up as the story flowed organically. Interesting to think about. I'm sure many people have said this, but there's a YouTuber I watch called Plague of Gripes. He doesn't really post much on YouTube these days, but when he was doing it, he had these very long, introspective videos while he was doing drawings or paintings, whatever he happened to be working on at the time. And I always appreciated his perspective on things. One of those things he had, one of his perspectives on writing, and I'm not sure if it came from somewhere else, but he did share it, and that's where I remember hearing it from, was that if you're not learning during the creation of your story, then it's not really a story. Because the whole point of a story is to sort of grow. If you're trying to tell a message, it's supposed to grow alongside you. Because if you're trying to tell other people ways to grow, things to think, which is what stories often do, they provide perspectives at the end of the day. Usually those of the author, distorted through some kind of lens. That lens being a world and or characters. Then, who are you to tell people or suggest ideas to them if you yourself are incapable of evolving your own ideas or worldviews? It's just sort of this balancing act of adhering to the themes that you've set out to write about, and also letting yourself acquire more nuance about the issues you've decided to tackle or talk about. As you go through the story writing process, it's interesting to think about. This seems loud. Hey, yo, calm down, Dark Souls. A wee bit loud, aren't we? Oh yeah, and one of the things I was thinking about is how thin of a line there is between poetry and sort of melodramatic schlock. And when I came to, well, there's a few foundational pillars. Now that I am more familiar with the writing process, I won't say better at it because I've never released anything in the capacity that can be judged or evaluated on a critical level. I haven't released this comic, and I've never written anything that I've released publicly prior. But as I become more familiar with writing, by way of this project right here, I'll say familiarity is the key word. Not better, but more familiar. I have found that there's a few pillars that I keep gravitating towards mentally when it comes to writing. Because I think they, for me anyway, they are conducive to what I think would be compelling. One of which is being, I've brought it up a couple times on stream by now, but true character versus characterization. It's just interesting to see, if your character is masking things or not. Can add so much to that dynamic that you have with other groups, other people in the story. How you characterize them doesn't even have to be genuine. It can be sort of like an unreliable narrator type thing, but within your own story, within the character, can be believable that way. Another one I had, another foundational thing, is when I was researching how to better my dialogue, I kept stumbling upon all these videos talking about subtextual dialogue and trying to avoid on-the-nose writing. Except for, rare outlying circumstances. And that sort of subtextual re-evaluation of everything I'd written so far, I think has been beneficial in the long term. Because I started researching that years ago in preparation for this very project, or a project similar. I never knew which comic I would start with. I have a bunch of ideas. This is just the first, hopefully, of many. Although I don't know how long this comic will be. If it goes according to the plans I have so far, it's gonna be frickin' forever. Which I would, I'd be a happier man if I could just work on this all the time. I'll be honest with you, who wouldn't? Being able to work on a passion project for as long as you want. Let alone all of them. But yeah, subtextual dialogue, another foundational pillar. Berserk, maybe it was just a result of I was looking up, because I was trying to figure out how I wanted to better myself at the idea of incorporating monologues into my story, having a character just think aloud to themselves and to the reader. And it's just like, it's so difficult to balance poetry and prose in a way that just doesn't make it come off as melodramatic or schlocky, or, what's a good word for it? Just extra. That's a good word for it. The Zoomers will even understand that one. And I was hitting a bit of a roadblock, and that's why I started reading a bunch of Berserk stuff again, because Berserk is just, every element of it, I will gush about that series until I have left this realm, moved on to the next one, where I will start talking to people in my reincarnated body about, hey, you got read Berserk? I'll be like 4 years old, and they'll be like, what the heck? How does he know? What is he talking about? How does he know this? Like those kids that claim to be reincarnated, they start talking about World War II stuff, and it's like, oh my god, how do you... What happened? Who told you this? I was looking up how to handle trauma, because Berserk has some of the most sensical depictions of that. You wouldn't think it would, because it's like, it's this grimdark, hyper-violent fantasy series. This music always psychs me out when it goes silent for Firelink Shrine every time I fall. But it grounds itself in how its characters react to that grimdark fantasy setting all the time. Constantly grounding itself with character interactions. And monologues, they're painfully realistic for a world as cruel as that one. Except maybe with the exception of some of the teleporting into someone's dreamscape to mend their PTSD, but that's more of a modern. Berserk is a high fantasy series, or it was towards the end of the mere official chapters. A lot of wizards and magic and stuff, fairies and whatnot. So it's it's a bit of a trade-off there, a bit of a compromise. I think we have lost a bit, but it's never really lost its stride. Never really did, I should say. Just kind of find a new one. Yeah, I need to figure out how to do better compositions, man. Just start more gestural, brother. That's how you gotta do it. That's the way you do it. Also, I did cave in. I did pre-order Tears of the Kingdom today, earlier. I did it. I don't know what to say. I don't know what you wanted from me. I was gonna do it. Apparently it's launching, basically later today if you buy it off the Australian eShop. Unfortunately, I am a slave to physical media, because the death of us will be when everything is purely digital and we own nothing, so... I decided I would just wait the extra day or two and then play the game from there. There was a fun little interview that came out earlier via Twitter where the developers started confirming that there are actual dungeons in the game, like full-on traditional Zelda dungeons. Dungeons right in the game. So that has me very pogged, very excited indeed. And I can only, they said they were, we hope the players enjoy them, because they were certainly challenging to develop. And it's like, yeah, I can imagine. You gotta sort of adhere the traditional Zelda format and the dungeon structure, and then you kind of gotta staple on this newfangled Breath of the Wild level of freedom that the engine allows for, where you can essentially, based on the previous game, Breath of the Wild, just kind of literally fly if you maneuver the game mechanics in the proper glitchy way. Some of that freedom is, I'm sure, unintentional, but like, you know, they surely know about most of that by now. The Breath of the Wild has been out for like 6 years or whatever. So it must have been very annoying developing a traditional style Zelda dungeon while knowing in the back of your head like, oh my god, these people are gonna break this game wide open. The moment this game, the first hour, people are already gonna be testing the old speedrun glitches to see if they work for sure, 100%. And there's nothing they can do about it. Aonuma will just be crying, wiping his tears away with his $100 bills, I'm sure. Oh, my baby. And then he cries into a solid gold mug as a new Zelda game is released and the company makes millions of dollars. I never got that response to speedrunning. Like, the developers, they always do this stupid thing where sometimes they invite developers to watch speedruns of their game. It happened for Devil May Cry 5, and then after watching the speedrun, the developer was like, well, that wasn't the intended experience, so we are going to have to actually patch that. It's like, you freaking dumb idiots, what is wrong? Why would you show the developer? Why would you do that to them? You get the guys responsible for QA testing in the room, and they're just like, oh yeah, you expect us to stay quiet about this? We were supposed to not have this. The game is supposed to be different than this glitchy experience you've shown us. And so it shall be. It's like, oh man, just leave the speedrunners alone. It's like when Nintendo released that second version of Mario 64 or whatever that patched out backwards long jumps. So disappointing. Will this make a clicking noise or like a maybe like a kunk? Onomatopoeia is hard, man. You can just kind of make up whatever sounds you want. Onomatopoeia. That's just straight up not the color that I need. Oh, I've pressed the Alt key, and it did not enjoy this. I do wonder, though, since, like I said, I've never released anything in regards to my writing publicly before, if I will be perceived as pretentious, speaking out of my depth on things I have little to no experience with. How does Miura handle topics with such grace? Presumably ones he's also never had any experience with. Man, I really don't get live notices anymore. Yeah, that'll be Twitch for you. Welcome in, Stove, regardless. I just have to check and see if you're on or not. Yeah, sorry, I'm also probably not helping things by the fact that some days I'm just passed out around now. And I'm like, yeah, well, today's a sleep day, I guess. When I wake up and then it's like 2:30 and I'm like, ah, damn it. I missed it. 2:30 my time specifically. Excuse me, this finger is being a real finger, alright. I want to give it the finger. How dare you not stream every day of your life? I'm trying, though. I'm trying to get a routine going here. It's the only time I work on these comics right now. How dare I? I'm just trying to be disciplined. Because if I'm not, I'm just going to play Legend of Zelda all the time. I just pre-ordered Tears of the Kingdom. I said this. And if I don't discipline myself, I will just play video games all the time. And that is not productive for anybody. Oh yeah, Tears of the Kingdom comes out like tomorrow. I know, literally early. It comes out later today if you buy it off the Australian eShop, which you know the content creators are doing. So I'm gonna have so many people, so many bullets to dodge and weave for like an extra couple days. Absolutely. Apparently dungeons are back. I was talking about that earlier on the stream. I'm very excited. In a way, they said they were gonna like the traditional style dungeons are fully returning. They said they were really challenging to develop, so we hope they're a challenge for players. And I was talking about how I would hope that they were like, you know, well, I wouldn't hope they were challenging, but I can imagine how they would be challenging. Because, you know, you got this Breath of the Wild engine that allows for arguably too much freedom if you break it in the right ways. And you're trying to shove this traditional Zelda dungeon into it. Like, there's going to be a room with a small key, like a small key chest in it. And you know people are just going to, like, no-clip wall hacks their way through the dungeon. And they're going to just boop, bleep, blop, bomb clip, boop. Oh, I beat the dungeon in, like, 30 seconds. Didn't even need to grab the key item, guys. And it's just like, I can already see it happening. People just breaking the game clean open. Like a freaking walnut, exposing the innards. So you better like them, and we do not want to hear any of you about any of it. They're just going to take the chest with them as they go. Yeah, they're going to freaking pick up the chest over their head. There's going to be some kind of glitch with the bow and arrow that allows you to teleport the boss to you, and then it'll just fall through the floor or something. It's going to be nuts. I imagine the speedrunner stream. I'm actually curious. I'll probably watch like the first hour or so of content, because I normally do. I can't contain myself that much. I'm not Jesus. I don't have that level of self-control. But I'll probably watch like the first opening hour from a bunch of people, because that's what I do. And I'm most curious about the first hour of the speedrun streamers, because I know that they're just going to be like, okay, does this glitch work? Does this glitch work? Let me try this one. They're going to try it. Frame 1, they're going to try that. What am I, Thanos? Maybe. Maybe. Have you seen that arm? Link be rocking some kind of Infinity-ass gauntlet on his arm now. He's got a funny-looking arm these days. Thanos had a funny-looking arm, and he started doing all sorts of stuff with it. Thanos also had a funny-looking head, but that's neither here nor there. He's got the bite of 87. Lady, what is up with your freaking arm? Why don't I know how to freaking do it? The metal arm. I'll figure this out. That looks ridiculous. Why does it look fine in the sketch? I don't understand. Gestures are so weird. They make things look completely fine when then you try to refine it and you're like, oh, that looks ridiculous. I hate that. How did it look so much better like a moment ago? Freaking small variations in line weight making me upset. Ooh, erg. Avoid lines pushing that close to the edge of the frame without crossing. Yeah, I know. It's freakish. I know what tangents is. I'll do it. Ooh, that'll be the only backseating you ever hear from me. No, it's fine. It's probably true. I was talking earlier at the stream. I was, like I said, I've been watching all these Berserk video essays. I've been looking at all these panels and chapters. I've been rereading some of my personal favorite moments. And I have been reacquainted with the idea, is a good word for it, that I have much to learn. So, by no stretch are you exempt from critiquing me. You are one of the few people I would even accept it from, so feel free. Unless it's about narrative, which you have no idea because you can't even, you don't know it. I've included no words. This is a silent story, actually. I forgot to tell you, there's no dialogue. Every panel with a character with their mouth open, they're just drooling a little bit. That's just what the whole thing is. I know words. Nope. You don't know nothing about no words. None of my words. My words are special words. They're hidden away from you. Scrumch. That's a pretty good word, actually. Shit. He might know a thing or two about. Maybe I should listen to this guy. It's a pretty damn good word. Let me hit you with this one. That's one that is indeed one. What do you think about undulate? That's a pretty good word. One of my personal favorites. Pharmaceutical. That one's nice. It's almost musical in a way. It's like the verbal equivalent of a xylophone. Pharmaceutical. You can just hear every syllable being hit on a xylophone. It's great. Zimbabwe. No, that's just that's a place. Does that count? I know it counts as a word, but it's like a proper noun as opposed to just like a general. I can't, for example, use the word Zimbabwe in my fantasy comic. It would seem very out of place. We are headed to the ancient city of Zimbabwe, and then every reader would be like, wait a second, hold on. What are you saying to me right now? It's just my world building, guys. You have to accept it. There's a city in this place called Zimbabwe, but is not in any way related to the real Zimbabwe. That's just how it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 panels. What am I, freaking insane? What else have I been doing recently? Oh yeah, I start full-time work soon. So if I stop functioning, or if I ever come to a stream with giving off the indication that I am half dead, it's probably because I am in the near future. So that'll be a nightmare, but I do need money, so not much I can do about that. That's just how it is. But I'll still try to maintain my schedule. If anything, the consistency might be welcome, because currently I have these days and these hours that are just like, when the company needs you, we'll just freaking schedule you, and then you just kind of have to wonder when it's going to be until the week you're actually scheduled. So maybe I'll actually be more consistent as a result of just being overworked all the time as opposed to some of the time. Food for thought. Penny for your thoughts. Now that I can actually afford pennies for people's thoughts. Before, I would just kind of have to beg for them for free. And they would still give them freely, but I would feel a little bad about it. Yeah, if you never stop, you'll never notice when something breaks. Exactly. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I didn't even notice that was broken. That's pretty freaking cool. Speaking of not taking into account your own issues in life and just sort of working past them in a way, I watched the new John Mulaney special, the Baby J special on Netflix, where he talks about his rehabilitation from drugs mainly. It's a pretty dang good special, despite its unfortunate subject matter that brought it into existence. It's certainly leagues above all of the other comedy specials coming out these days that are just like canceled. A conversation on society with insert B-list comedian here, who you haven't heard from in 15 years. It's like, oh great, another one, huh? Awesome. Oh yeah, I saw clips. Yeah, it's a pretty good special. I like it. One thing that I saw that perhaps is not in many of the clips is that during the beginning of the show, he looks up to the balcony seats, and he notices one particular member of the audience, and he says, "Oh, who are you?" And I think the kid says, "Henry." And he says, "Oh, and Henry, how old are you?" And he says, 11. And then so he has to go on this whole tirade about, okay, so you're probably used to me with a different vibe. What I'm going to talk about in this special is perhaps going to be drastically different than any of the other ones, and you should, and I'm just going to say this, so the things that I talk about in this special, Henry, don't. And that's what he says. It's a good message for the kid and his audience. He says, certainly, you will not be distracting me for the rest of this performance. As he talks about all of his drug issues. But it's a pretty interesting special. I always admire the ones that are more like, the comedy specials that are more like, they're not purely comedy, whether they have something else to offer, whether it be you know, a life story or just something about some sort of philosophical topic. Yeah, what could someone else do to me? That John Mulaney couldn't do worse. Dislike me? He'll kill me. He almost did. Very good special. George Carlin had a lot of multi-purposed specials, although his were a little bit more opinionated than I would say most people would be comfortable with towards the later stages of his life. But his earlier ones, he has this one special that in particular, I forget what it's called, but I see it all the time. The clips are from it. He has like a blue shirt on and these long 80s or 90s ass pants. I don't know, maybe 70s pants probably. I don't know when that special took place, but it's a while ago. So maybe 70s. Yeah, it talks about all sorts of stuff in a fun way, like death and time. But you know, it's not only comedic, but it's also introspective, which I think is cool when it comes to comedy specials. People in the comment sections of George Carlin specials, they always say he's not, you know, primarily a comedian. He's more so a philosopher than he is a comedian, and I think there's a grain of truth to that. For as much as I think he would actually hate being described as that. That seems like a title he would wear with shame if he found out that people were calling it a modern-day philosopher. I don't know, maybe he wouldn't. I didn't know him personally. Where's your freaking face? I need the face reference thingamabob again. Yeah, Carlin Duff thought of himself as a comedian. Yeah, I'm sure. First and foremost, primarily. That's what he would have, you know, called himself. If given the chance to ask, or given the chance to answer a question about what he considered himself as. Where did I put this reference thing? Chapter 1 folder? Yeah, found it. Guy was a fucking militant. I was gonna bring that up too, yeah. Bowling averages are way up, golfing scores are way down. You think that guy thinks of himself as a philosopher? I don't know. I find it a little hard to believe. Hey, yo, Dark Souls, could you freaking shut up? for like a sec. Just be quieter. Thank you. Alright, what was I doing? Just getting a reference for this man's beard. I like how in Chapter 1 you can tell that I was formulating this style and trying to make it more replicatable, more more efficient. And you can see this is before I abstracted a lot of the features, like the hair and the mustache. They're freaking very well detailed in this panel here. And it's just like, that's not sustainable, for me anyway. Put a lot of work into that. And now I'm just kind of like, boom, jagged edges. Even on this, it's not nearly as much of a close-up, but it could have been. Kind of works because in the chapter that this is more of a close-up shot of the face, and I haven't really done one of those in the prologue yet, I don't think. So maybe I'll do some more detailed shots, just to be fancy. Could always do a finishing pass over your pages in larger batches, that's true. There's always people talking about when they go to do the physical editions of their comic, not that I'm anywhere freaking close to doing that. I don't even know how many pages I would want to have out before I started thinking about doing that, even if I self-publish it. Benefits of not having due dates yet, that's true. But the people that talk about doing physical format stuff, they always talk about going back and tuning up some of the artwork, not necessarily changing it, because that would look out of place if you just went back to a panel and then just redid it with your current design and artistic sensibilities. And then all the other ones are just the same. But, you know, just tuning up something like lighting or shifting a compositional element slightly. So I thought that would also be interesting to do, if at some point I do reach the point in, I wouldn't call this a career, seeing as I'm making Check's bank account $0 from this. And I don't intend to make any money from it at all, really. But if I ever get to the point where I can do that, even just for myself, I might tune up some of the artwork and then just have a physical edition. Just to say I did it. For me. And if you also wanted one, then perhaps I would do that. Maybe I could make a special exception. Or a lot for a certain amount. Because I don't mean to brag, but I think the first few chapters of this story are pretty sick. So book 1, it's usually like the, you gotta ease into the story, you gotta establish your stuff and your characters before things get real interesting, but I like to think that I've kept my prologue and my initial chapters, at least somewhat substantial. Not completely devoid of action. At the end of the day, this is intended to be a fantasy action series. I would say if you start noticing you've kept a regular upload schedule, start a Patreon or support page of some kind. That is the avenue. That's kind of really what you have to do if you expect to make money from a comic. Not even necessarily make it your career, because that's like impossible apparently these days. Even if you're a published webtoons creator, it's just like, ugh. You just see every horror story that comes out about the companies, like, they don't even pay me for like my thumbnail art or my promotional material. I have to do that, or I have to hire people to help me with that, all out of pocket. And it's like, oh, you nightmare company, you evil doers, how did you succubi? They tempt you with the promise of being a professional comic artist, and then they hit you with the reality of, oops, your lifespan's shorter, and you're poor. Got you. You're doing the work, might as well allow it to sustain itself as possible. That is true. And that's a yikes, man. Yeah, the freaking webtoons industry. Unless you're a Korean studio that cranks out a boy love romance series 5 times a day, then you're probably not making money. But those Korean boy love studios, man, oh my, they're freaking, they must be rolling in it. Especially, apparently, if you have one where you call the Korean police incompetent. Apparently, I didn't know that was a theme that's common among Korean webtoons, but apparently, you just call your police a bunch of idiots. And that's just a widely universal thing. It's like, oh yeah, the police are in a Korean webtoon? They're gonna be stupid. Just unhelpful. And it's like, I'm not saying anything about American police, but I think we could see a similar trend in this country if anyone ever took note. Or, you know, if the American comic reading population actually cared about webcomics at all. They don't really. Another thing South Korea and USA have in common. Yeah, there you go. I always think to that Dimension 20-bit, where Brennan Lee Mulligan has created this family, these Dungeons and Dragons NPC family of anarchist halflings, and after they break the main party out of jail, they're like, or like he pulls a Molotov out of his bag and he's like, "You kids want to make some bacon?" And I'm just like, every time I think about those characters, I'm like, that is probably just the best characters you could have made. I don't think there's better characters you could make than anarchist halflings that have a strong disdain for the police to the point where they will break criminal protagonists out of jail and throw Molotovs around the police station. I love that I know this theme. The one that's playing right now is Guinevere's theme. Because it is just in my mind like the personification, the sound personified of seeing a large, well-endowed woman. I'm just like, yeah, this would be the energy that I feel if I were to see that. Just a large, golden woman. Large in all senses of the word. This would be the choir going off in my head, I think. We are certainly in a time right now, absolutely. Just a giant scantily clad mega mommy. Yeah, this is the song of the mega mommy. And I'm just like, I can't forget it. This is the exact, they nailed it, honestly. When I think of her, I think of this exact vibe. Like, oh, if only I could be so gloriously incandescent. I see what Solaire was talking about. My man had it right all along. Solaire, you dog. Her Twitch channel would explode, and if Guinevere became real and started a Twitch channel or an OnlyFans, she'd be a billionaire in a month. Easily. She would shift the GDPs of nations with the amount of money that would be transferred over that website. Primary export of whatever country she's in, she would make up a percentage of that. Oh yeah, we export diamonds, small nanodes, some sort of electrocircuitry, and then we export 5% of our GDP as Guinevere. Who would have thought? It would become the S&P 501. I would subscribe. I'm not ashamed to admit it. You think of a video game mommy came to life and started an OnlyFans, standing at like 18 feet tall, you wouldn't? You can't tell me you wouldn't. I know you would. You even out of curiosity, you would be like, yeah, I'm looking. I have to see. I don't believe any other response to the contrary. Don't matter if you're gay, straight, pan, asexual, you're looking. You're dead, and they're looking. That's a George Carlin bit. To bring it home, to bring it full circle. What is your freaking nose, dude? Alright, that's your nose. Alright, good. All of your flowers arrive at once, too late. Curiosity would be a topic of research. Yeah, they would probably get some scientists in there. If a video game character came to life, there'd probably be more pressing issues. I'd become her historian. Don't you mean her historian? Well, that's all for the stream today. I don't think I can do any better than that. I looked straight into the camera that I don't have, as I said it, too. Fine. I'll punish myself for that one. Here we go. Hello, my old friends. You brought it back. I have to credit you then. Oh yeah, I brought another series into my Webtoon, or not my Webtoon, my Tapas feed. I've been having a lot of fun browsing Tapas because you get a lot more interesting results than you would on Webtoon, honestly. Let me try and find this one. This one was interesting because the artwork is freaking insane. Yeah, but not like the small scale eating. Not that. No. Although I just realized their slogan was "Stories You Crave." Have I never put that together? All right, maybe I am stupid. Maybe it is exactly that. Okay then. Anyway, ignoring my obtuseness, I'm gonna go to my library here. There is a series called Vamp Sabbath that I have been reading. It is a mystery series. It's very popular on Tapas. Have you read Berserk? I have indeed read Berserk. All of it. Well, I don't know if there's been any new chapters, but I've read all of the Miura chapters, 364. I did that. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be calling it my favorite series of all time whenever I get a chance if I hadn't read it. Let me tell you that much. But yeah, this series called Vamp Sabbath. It's got like Scott Pilgrim level art, and I've been taking. They do that thing where they have very dynamic mouth shapes. That is what I was wondering. And they have, I've been looking more into that series. If you want to see some really good expression work, or really just cool composition work in general, Vamp Sabbath on Tapas. I don't know if it's on Webtoon, I haven't looked. But that one's very good. Looking it up, I implore you, even if you're just going to browse the art for a minute, you don't even have to get interested in the story, but that would be a byproduct. But just looking at the art is freaking nuts. I have been taking some notes. Actually, it has a lot of Scott Pilgrim vibes now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, the art has great character. It's really good, really really filled with personality. Good mix of rough and clean. I know, I was thinking that too when I was reading it. There's a good balance of that. Too clean, you get sterile. You get your freaking standard Korean studio style, which it's freaking, it's whatever, but it's also, whatever, whatever in many ways. They do it because it's fast and easy to do for them, I still probably couldn't do a Korean style webtoon if I tried, but you know, for them it's easy and fast compared to doing something a bit more intensive. But there's something to be said for the independent artist style, like a Vamp Sabbath or Scott Pilgrim, where it's replicatable, but also they really take advantage of the digital medium in ways that are sort of unorthodox. I would say maybe not unorthodox, but perhaps like harder to wrap your head around as a beginner or an amateur like me, like myself. I'm just gonna sit here in mediocrity, and then maybe one day I'll figure it out. Maybe one day I'll just wake up and be able to do, you know, freaking Miura. Everyone was speculating he was so good at his art, and just art in general, that when he switched to digital, there were debates on Reddit for like a year on whether or not he actually did, because his line work was still so high quality. People were like, I can't actually even tell if this is just real traditional ink work being scanned or digital ink work. Does anybody know? And it's just like, nobody could tell. Is this just an art style change, or is this digital now? What's happening? You're only mediocre until you make something that people consider great. That's true, you don't even have to be good at art. You'll still be the same guy, though. Yeah, it's just like, you know, it's the Jackson Pollock effect, perhaps, or the Andy Warhol effect. Doesn't really matter what you make. It'll be great when everyone says it's great. It's kind of how it goes. And if nobody says it's great, even if it is great, then maybe one day you'll just be like John Carpenter, where you make The Thing, one of the best horror movies, so probably one of the best pieces of fictional media ever made, especially put to film, and then critics will lambaste you, and then for decades your masterpiece will just go unnoticed as a critically bashed piece of trash, and then, you know, a bunch of people will actually come around and go, hey, actually, this is in fact not bad, but also one of the best things I've ever seen. And it's just nuts how the public perception can even change like that. Freaking cultural zeitgeists, man. Terrifying. Seemingly irrational sometimes. Like, what changed? The movie didn't change. John Carpenter didn't change. He was the same guy. Ooh boy, speaking of sustainability, Vamp Sabbath seems to have gone very quickly from a 5-page upload to a 1-page upload. I do wonder how much of that was, I did see that, but I do wonder how much of that is just they had a backlog that they were uploading from. You do have to wonder sometimes. Like, what platform did they start uploading on, and then what did they move to? If they did move to something. I've seen that happen. They usually just want to get it out. Has to be to pace it out, I'm assuming. I do a lot of assuming. Seems like they're still going, so it's not like they ran out of steam. Nah, I'm sure they're doing great, actually. They got, what, millions of views on that series? Probably doing just fine. They do certainly have some Patreon-level art. You could easily sustain one with bonus content with art like that. Do some, like, postcard stuff, mailing list stuff, some lewds, perhaps? And they do seem like the kind of artist that wouldn't be opposed to lewds, just based off their style. That might be one heck of a character assumption, but, you know, you can kind of tell sometimes. Oh, absolutely. Like right? Like, right? These days, that's like announcing your fetish. I would never announce my my fetish. Ever. They went with vampires? Yeah, they did. This eyeball is gonna look so weird when I flip it, I can just tell. I wish Clip Studio had the capacity like Photoshop does to have a navigator window open that's always flipped. To my knowledge, they don't have that yet. That makes me so angry. I wish it had it so bad. See, this is what my problem would be. I don't have any ideas based on popular media, or any that are still relevant. You don't need relevant ideas if you do fantasy stories. Those tropes have been played out since the freaking 60s. And we're still doing. So just make a fantasy series. It's easy. No relevancy required. You can have outdated feudalism, as long as it ties into characters in a realistic way. That's freaking fine. Buy my shirts. They're made of linen and sheep's wool. They're very scratchy. I have so many abrasions. Your screen app is dropping messages? I just noticed that. Let me take a look. Five to 1, is it? I don't see anything. Am I stupid? Which ones did it drop? Oh, a new episode of Ingress Adventuring Company. Nice. This always sounds like that sad version of the Nostalgia Critic theme song that shows up in that one Oni Plays animation. I realize that's like an absurd deep cut. Since you was side by side, alright, let me freaking go into the thing. Oop. Sorry, I didn't want to type more and move things. That's fair, thank you for letting me know. I wish to see. I would start making a comic and its theming would be like, hey kids, do your parents remember Mega Man? Yeah, I see that now. Where did it go? That's not even like my screen app, that's on like all of my Twitch chats. Like I'm looking at my OBS and I'm using the app on Twitch too. I have 2 chats open at all times basically. That just didn't even pop in on any of them. I guess it was just a little fun Twitch thing to just not send that message. Or some of them. Maybe it's Twitch then. It's probably freaking Twitch. Thanks, Twitch. Yeah, freaking thanks, Twitch. Making me Twitch. Running my jokes. They are running your channel into the ground. Got him? Or did I get Twitch? I don't know. Probably both of you. I'm just firing off strays right now. But yeah, I was thinking about Vamp Sabbath as well. I'm probably going to do some expression studies. Expression studies are so interesting because the human face can be so abstracted in a nearly infinite number of ways. So I'm trying to figure out what I would even try to do. I like the way they do mouths. I've always been, like, the people that do mouths in a volumetric way have always fascinated me because you got your mouth Like, I'll probably just draw a mouth and it'll be like that. There might be some depth with the angles of the lip or whatever, but it's just a mouth. But then you got people over here that are just drawing, like, they got the teeth arc, and then they got the angle of the head going, and they got this other teeth down here, and it's just like, they do all sorts of stuff. And I think I need to do a bit more practice with that. Or maybe just apply it more so I'm comfortable doing it. I don't think my expressions are terrible, but I think they could be a lot better. Berserk manages to do both. It has very expressive art, but also all of the faces are, like, semi-realistic, and that's nuts. How do you do that? How do you freaking do that, bro? I don't get it. How did he do that stuff, like, monthly for decades? It's the anime advantage. He's freaking crazy. He's cracked. Absolutely. That's why it's emulated so damn much. Yeah, I know. Even by Western studios. The original Teen Titans series, anime inspired. Avatar: The Last Airbender, anime inspired. Two highly regarded series from Western studios, emulating anime aesthetics. Can do highly detailed and cartoony at the same time. Yes, it can. It's very good. Until you're looking at Puck in the Berserk manga, and it's a very serious moment. And then you just see this freaking goober going over here like, oh! And then his stupid little fairy butt over here, and he's just like, oh! What an interesting story moment. Would be a shame if comedic relief looked like a freaking turnip. Exactly. I hate Puck so much. He used to be cool. In like the Black Swordsman arc, he was interesting. Or sitting like an old guru, yeah. Puck used to be a foil to Guts until he had a foil by way of Griffith, and then everybody else who was opposing him, they were served to foil certain elements of his character. So then he just kind of became this chibi thing on his head, and that was it for the rest of the series as it progressed. He kind of doesn't even need to be there anymore. Unless Puck deals the finishing blow to Femto at the end of the series, I don't even care that he's there anymore. I don't even care. How do you draw mouths, brother? Yeah, Puck was originally there to allow Guts to be a solitary hero, a la Fontaines. Let me think. Let me try to even break that down. Fist of the North Star, I did it. I'm so good. I've heard that before, but I always have to relearn that one every time I see it. Why can't every acronym be easy, like Hunter x Hunter? You see HXH, there's nothing that could be, except for that one. But then Miura learned a lot about storytelling and realized characters are important to stories. That's true. I would say he learned too much about storytelling, because now I have writer's envy every time I look at the Golden Age arc and the following arcs after that. The whole healing through intimacy stuff with Casca and Guts, masterfully done. Searching for purpose. Starting off a character with no motivations other than to survive and having him explore his lack of purpose. Shifting into his own search for said purpose, only to leave his friend devoid of his own purpose. Masterfully done. It's all so well done. so organic. How do you even do a character with, like, the storytelling 101? Make your character's motivations clear. Guts? Nope. Doesn't have one. Shut up. He's just gonna kill stuff and be angry for a long time. And then only after a few hundred chapters will he start to develop some semblance of, I want to do this, actually. And for this reason. And it's just like, how did you do that? How did you make me care? What's wrong with you? Was it the short-haired fight girl that kept me reading? I mean, partially. For sure. Partially, at the very least. I won't pretend. But also everything else that I have mentioned up to this point. God, your mouth looks so stupid. I need to learn how to draw mouths in a better way. Too simplified for my liking. Maybe it's too high. L'chaim? Just like The Rent. That's a nice meme reference for anyone who's terminally online, like myself. Actually, I think his whole dang head, except for his mouth, is too dang high now. Get down there. What are you doing up there? Your freaking eyeballs are nuts. Alright, yeah, I'll learn how to construct things eventually. Today is not that day. What are you? No, don't apply the transformation. Here you are. Yeah, I would almost think of that as a happy accident. The long delay before we get any kind of characterization out of Guts works really hand in hand with his own lack of direction. Outside of being part of the Hawks, it's true. It's almost integral to that whole thing. Him searching for a purpose, he has to be devoid of one. And he sort of has to have it filled by a need. Which is really interesting in that the Hawks kind of get characterized more than he does for a long stretch of the story. And he even it coalesces sort of in this in that scene where him and Cask are confiding in each other under that tree, and one of the more well-known monologues kicks in, a bonfire of dreams, which is what Casca likens the flames of the individual flames of the Band of the Hawk members, each fighting for their own dreams, and Guts talking about how he doesn't have one. He's not really contributing anything to the Band of the Hawk, in his opinion, because he doesn't have a motivation, at least in his own eyes. But that's a really good monologue. Even if that monologue is so good, even in the terrible dub of the 90s anime, it still sounds semi-poignant, which is really all you can say. If you're listening to the Berserk anime dub from the 90s, where Casca sounds like a valley girl and Guts sounds like like a 20-year-old dude trying to sound like a gruff 50-year-old man, then it's like that scene pulling that off, it's impressive. You know what, I'm actually going to bring it up on stream, because why not? It's my stream. I've been talking about Berserk for like an hour by now. Let's watch what I'm talking about. I've Googled YouTube. Alright, that's how you know it's freaking, I need sleep. Bonfire of Dreams. Berserk has yet to get a legitimately good adaptation of any kind. It's a shame, I know. Why is it so hard? Making Mario Thwomp noises over here. Make a good Berserk anime. I'm not gonna watch the movie version, I'm gonna watch the anime version. Berserk monologue. It's a tough concept to market, is it? I don't think so. I don't know. Just one of the best fantasy series of all time. That doesn't seem hard to market to me. It's a bit too popular for its own good. Yeah, maybe you got me. Maybe you just made me fall into my own trap. But literally the description I said right before you said that was what you were talking about. So yeah, I see your point. That's my starting suits. He's gonna say the thing. No. It's well known enough that it would create a platform, but its content is some of the most extreme shit in media. Yeah, pretty much. Hey, yo, screen capture, where are you at? Guess what we still have? Why don't you freaking illuminate me? Why don't you? I freaking dare you. We gotta hear Valley Girl Casca for like a second. At least. What the heck? I thought this was YouTube. Where am I? I'm on an amino. Ew. Get me out of here. I don't want to be here. Is it this one? They're gonna start talking about Attack on Titan theories. They're gonna tell me which freaking, what's that anime where the anime characters are countries? If you were curious. Because you asked.
It's just my nature.
It's just my nature. Garo, I'm watching copyrighted content. You can't come in here with that. But I thank you anyway for doing it. Hello. It was the starting screen. I know, it's the starting screen. Garo, we're watching the Berserk dub for a couple minutes because I think it's a little bit funny, but also it's because I'm talking about monologues in stories. Why would you do that to me? Why would I do what? I'm not doing nothing. Just freaking don't tell anyone, narc. But yeah, here we go. I was talking about monologues and storytelling because Berserk is a huge inspiration to me. Can I join in? Absolutely, Freeze. Do whatever you like. Not whatever you like, but most of what you like. And I was saying how this monologue is executed pretty well, despite the fact that it's in a terrible dub, which is the 90s Berserk dub. And we're going to listen to a little bit of that. I was here for the cat ears and my unblinking eyes because I didn't draw 2 extra frames for them.
So that's the only reason?
So that's the only reason?
Men because it's not in your nature to run away.
Why did they make her sound like that? It's not in your nature to run away. Casca, that is not what you sound like in my head. I'm just saying, it's not what she sounds like in my head. She sounds like an elegant, refined, buff woman in my head. But now it's not in your nature to run away. Why did they make her do that?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Besides, I owed that bastard some payback.
Like, come on, God.
My memory of things is a bit unclear.
Like she wants to be seductive, I mean.
Swordplay.
She probably does, considering who she's talking to. Would you not?
But to tell you the truth, there was something I just couldn't get out of my head. Compared to what you're trying to do, me fighting 100 men means nothing. It has no purpose.
Defeating you like this has no meaning. Considering how this scene ends, yeah, I would 100%.
I'm not talking about just you. I mean Griffith also. The two of you have something important that you can stake your lives on. I think it's great. I truly mean that.
God, everything sounds so much worse in the dub.
The strength of that purpose.
Sounds so much sillier.
100 men in battle, or even 1,000, seems like nothing but a random act.
Guts,
Awkward pausing in anime. That's the problem with this too, is pacing.
Some view, huh?
She doesn't say "huh" in the manga.
He's very suited for army life. His intention is to start a tailoring business with the money he's earned when this war is over. He's very good with his hands, though he may not look it. Nicole had proposed to a woman who refused him once. Apparently she didn't want to marry a common soldier, so he declared that he would get promoted as soon as possible so he could ask her again. That's why he tends to be reckless and overextends himself in battle. It seems to me that everybody stakes their lives in a lost cause.
Yeah, look at that crispy JPEG.
Looking over them all from up here, I almost think I can see their hopes.
Look at that unmoving fire. So they had no money. They had no money.
like a bonfire of dreams.
Sounds so
that
cringy.
Was beautiful. You sounded like the princess.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Don't say that. But I understand. It's like each one of them has his own little light or a small flame that he brings
It's
to the band of the
so
hawk.
cringe when they dub it.
And to ensure that those weaker flames don't go out, each man casts his own into the strongest fire.
Oh, but the OST is cheating. It's such a good song.
A raging fire. That is Griffith. But my light isn't to be seen among them. Still, after all this time, it seems that I'm just someone who stopped to warm himself at the bonfire in passing.
Guts.
So long as I have my sword to fight with.
Why does it sound not
Sure
cringe
to
in the sub?
survive.
I don't know, man. It's probably just because I don't speak the language, honestly.
Before joining the Hawks, I always survived. No matter the odds, no matter how hopeless a losing battle. This time was no different.
He starts getting good towards the end here, though.
In truth, I don't believe that's any way to live one's life. I've been fighting in battles for as long as I can remember.
Oh, yes. Good job, cameraman.
The mercenary leader
Nice.
who raised me taught me nothing except how to wield a sword. I've never had anything except my sword. I don't want to die. For me, that is the only reason I keep fighting. There is nothing to save myself for or give myself to. I fight because I know nothing else. Once I was willing to do just that, to commit myself to fighting, and let anyone else find a reason for me.
There's like 2 more minutes. I think we get the gist. He starts getting good there in the middle, though. This is also a dub from the era where if the character's mouth was anything but entirely shut, they had to be making a noise. That's true. They were voice acting around the lip flaps, unfortunately, and they didn't really have the budget to readjust them, which is a thing you do have to consider. Where do you even look if you don't want to be dirty in that scene? You can't look anywhere. You close your eyes, I guess. Bring me back. There I am. Bring me more Dark Souls. Well, yeah, that's how you could tell in the middle there. It was kind of getting into it. The monologue started even surpassing the freaking weird dub. I think it is just truly, it's a combination of in the sub, it's probably localized better, and the fact that the delivery on the dub is just a little bit hammy, especially at the beginning with Valley Girl Casca. I don't know who casted the voice actress for that, and I'm sure she's not even that bad of a voice actress, but Casca she ain't. I will tell you that much. Because that's why you ran away? It's because it's like not in your nature? Flips hair? That's crazy. They gave her the voice of the girl who, instead of laughing at your jokes, would be like, that's so funny. And that's just really what rubs me the wrong way. Because I don't believe you when you say that. Oh yeah, cat ears. What is the occasion for the Neko Mimi Moto? I think, Neko Mimi Moto, rather. Oh yeah, I punished myself for making a dad joke. I forget exactly what it was. Stove, do you remember? Because I said it to you. But it is out of punishment regardless of what I said. Cat ears is punishment? Yes, some of us have different priorities. Doesn't seem like a punishment to me. Oh, hey, Garo, did you know that you're a raider from your own stream? OBS has decided to tell me that. Nice. Yup, that's so weird. I never would have guessed. Even though I've been lurking from the moment you started, how dare you? You like those characters, you've been wearing them for multiple streams now. Swan, this is literally the second stream I've worn these. You're always coming in here painting false narratives with your fake news. I had to ban you for right now, just for that. I ought to do it. You don't think I will, do you? You don't believe I'm gonna do it. Multiple. I'll freaking get you out of here. Can do this the easy way or the hard way. Or the sort of hard with a side of easy, medium, hard way. Your choice. If I sit in someone's stream and they raid me, I become a raider in my own stream. That's pretty nuts. Maybe that should be your next stream, Swan. Have you ever considered raiding your own stream? You would have to raid me, and then be in my stream, and then I would have to raid you. Is that how that works, Garo? Am I getting this right? No, I hate that. Don't raid me. I'll freaking raid you right back. Right before you stop being live, I'll do it. And you'll be like, oh, no. All my work for naught. Flip the canvas again. Yep, that is exactly what happened. That's wild. That it even does that. That's how it processes that. Alright, everybody. I've professed my love for my favorite anime series or manga series of all time. Now we're gonna go around the room. Everybody list it off if you have one. If you don't have one, that's perfectly fine. I'll just fill it in with Berserk as a placeholder in my head, and then I will call you a kindred spirit. You would have to stream during your sleeping hours. I sleep during those, though. Damn it. It's the perfect crime. Ghost Hunt? Let me get that one on my radar. I don't believe I've heard tale of this one. Whoops. Okay, fine. It's called March Comes In Like a Lion. Alright, let me freak a sleep stream. Absolutely. I'm a PNG tuber. It would be so uninteresting, and there's no way I'm doing a reveal of what I look like via a sleep stream. That would be the worst way to do that. I love that one, Freeze. I gotta look these up. Give me a sec. God. Jeez. My Google Chrome is being slow. I think there's a memory leak on my computer. Again. Ghost Hunt first. And that one. A light novel series written by Fuyumi Ono. The adventures of Shibuya psychic research as they investigate mysterious occurs all over Japan. The team of spiritualists. And clever assistants. Let me check out some images. I do like this duo here. They look pretty confident in their abilities. Oh, there's some creepy imagery showing up here for this. I'm assuming this OVA 2006. I don't know. And then March Comes In. I believe I've heard of March Comes In Like a Lion. Which duo? There's the lady in the school uniform, I'm assuming, and then the guy with what also I'm assuming is another school uniform. He's got like the jacket ice black, the dark coat, and shirt. The one that's primarily on the, on the light novel. This dude on the light novel, he kind of looks like Kakyoin from JoJo, which is interesting. The manga did not stay true to that one. Or no, the anime did not stay true to that design. This one light novel cover looks like it was drawn by freaking Clamp. Did they do this? Naru and Mai. March Comes In Like a Lion. Blah, 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 blah. Give me the synopses. Is it about depression? Well, that's a good question you want to see people searching for when you're looking up a series. My anime list is currently under emergency maintenance. They are working to investigate and repair a vulnerability that was discovered on May 10th. Okay, so I guess I'm not reading the synopsis on my anime list. Okay. Emergency maintenance. They got Code Red going down there. Oh yeah, they got hacked. Awesome. I have an account there. I hope they steal all of my information. Yes, Naru is the owner, and Mai is a high school girl who breaks an expensive camera and works to pay for it. Ain't that just the freaking way? March comes in like a lion, a 17-year-old socially awkward orphaned that's a lot of negative qualifiers. Socially awkward orphaned shogi player dealing with adult problems like financial difficulties, loneliness, and depression. Ah, I see. So it's really like a sort of just like a slice of life wholesome type series. Is that what we're talking about? A lot of cool vibe, a lot of wholesome vibes there. Like a feel-good show, you see? Some hyperfan of Serial Experiments Lane decided to go ham and rescore all the ratings for that series to top ratings. That's actually awesome that it was for Serial Experiments Lane. A fan of any other show would not go to that length. But of course it was a fan of Serial Experiments Lane. That just makes too much sense. That's fully in character. The most sane Serial Experiments Lane fan in the world, by the way. Pretty much the art of this anime is amazing though. I see. Alright, what am I doing? Art? Oh yeah, I do that sometimes. Not all the time. Some would argue not even some of the time. But occasionally. I do art, I swear. Is it good? You decide, dear viewer. This is an art stream? I don't know. Can I even say that? As the person making it? I don't think I can. What is art? It's been speculated upon before. People have attempted to answer the question in the past. Have they ever been right, though? I don't know. Is it something devoid of function? Devoid of its original function? Is it something meant to evoke emotional resonance within somebody, within anybody, including yourself? Who knows? More like fart stream, am I right? I'm gonna freaking stop streaming forever. It'll be all your fault. Everyone is gonna wonder, where did Zotan go? Is he dead? I'm gonna be like, no, Garo said that thing one time, and that was it. That was the final straw. This is the camel. And this is his back. And this is the straw here, and then this is his spine breaking clean in half because of what you did. You killed him. He's dead now. What's wrong with you? He had one straw left and you've broken it. Sad. Well, he's dead now, so he's not really sad at all now, is he? Silver lining. He has a long bone as his spine. No wonder it broke. Listen, I'm not going to draw articulated camel vertebrae on stream for a bit. I don't even know what that looks like. Well, good riddance. The spine looked deformed. We call that natural selection. It's completely fine to have one singular bone as your spine. And I'm saying that not out of any place of insecurity at all. I don't know why you guys are making such a big deal out of it. It's completely normal to have a bone spine. Isn't this an art stream, though? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. We're playing the sad Plim Plim Plong song. And it's dark. Everybody has to pay respects. Accurate depiction of what you were attempting to draw. Well, right now I'm attempting to draw a woman's face. We'll see how that goes. Historically, 5, 6 out of 10 maybe. In the grand scheme of things. Six out of 10 faces, man, that woman is gonna have tons of eyes. She's gonna have like one over here, she's gonna have one over here. It's gonna get a little Lovecraftian. That's freaking nightmarish. Get out of here with those, I don't need that anymore. Like a barrel is out? Now when you say barrel, what do you mean? You talking like double barrel shotgun type thing? Like what are we doing? Like I don't know what we're talking about. Or do you mean like a Donkey Kong ass freaking, you got this, you got the metal thing binding it together. Faces a minigun that shoots the eyes. That's how terrifying. They better be glass eyes, and not organic flesh material. You guys see the new Jack Black music video that he put on his Tenacious D channel, I think? It was animated by Oni Cartoons, so that was pretty cool to see. It's the only reason I even knew it existed, or that it was happening, is because I saw a premiere. And I was like, oh, that's pretty neat. It's only like a minute long, but it's still a pretty cool project to just have pop up out of nowhere. Yeah, you don't want to hear the splats from the fleshy eyeballs? Most certainly do not. I might vomit. A lot. Whoops, 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 whoops. I need to draw the freaking lines for the eyeballs here, so I know where they're going. God, it gets so hot in this room now. What is this? Summer? Spring? What's happening? It's only in this room, I swear. There's like no ventilation in here. Which is nuts to me, because this room that I had streamed from, which is my bedroom, I'm not, you know, I'm willing to divulge that. I stream from my bedroom. I think a lot of streamers do. But it's at the corner of the house, so 2 of the walls are exposed to the outside, and it's not even that hot outside, so I don't know what's going on. You think the temperature would sort of regulate itself, but no. I think I am just, in fact, too hot, and these cat ears are not helping. My animal magnetism just goes through the roof, and is reflected in my bodily temperature. And then I think we'll just make the eyes bigger, because it's freaking anime inspired. Of course, aren't we all these days? Oh god, I've zoomed out and zoomed in too much. Sort of. Still trying to be as realistic as possible. Whoops. Let's flip this and see if it looks good. I really wish I just had the freaking Pathfinder. Not the Pathfinder, the Navigator tool. That just could be permanently inverted. It would make everything so much easier. But I cannot be afforded that luxury as a Clip Studio user. They simply have not developed that tool yet. Maybe they did, it's in their stupid subscription version of their software, but I will not buy it if that is the case. I do not care about subscription-based models. I would sooner die. Come on, man, just buy Clip Studio version 2.0 and we'll let you go. Never. And I spit in his eyeball. In his glass eyeball. And he's like, ah, I have no nerve endings in there, but that feels gross anyway. I was thinking what one of the worst places to get like held up like that would be is, and I think one of the worst places you could be held up like for a mugging would be on a college campus, because you don't have money, so you can't even give them what they want. They're like, give us all you got, and you're like, brother, I'm thousands of dollars in debt. You've chosen the wrong venue. I can provide you with nothing. Please find somebody else, preferably far away. That would also, a mugging is also like one of the worst situations. You know that socially awkward thing that you do sometimes when you're at a restaurant and then the waiter says enjoy your meal and you're like, you too. One of the worst settings you could do with that, also a mugging. Give me all you got. You too, and then now you're just at a standoff. He's demanding stuff from you and now you have demanded stuff from him. Then what happens? Now you're both just at an impasse demanding stuff from each other. You hold out your finger guns. Everyone loses. Nobody wins in that situation. Give me the coins. No, you, is what I say. And then both give out all they, and you get out on top. Yeah. We put it in a little bit of a pot in the center. Play a round of Texas Hold'em. Winner takes it fair and square. Better than getting shot over it, I think. You working today / tomorrow? I am working today. Not tomorrow, though, although next week, regrettably, I am starting full-time. I think that's what they said. Yeah, I will, in the future, most likely be working on all weekdays, I would assume. Maybe not Fridays. Because if I have days off, they would probably be Friday and Saturday. So, full-time, yeah, full-time. Don't sound so excited. You're more excited than I am for it. Crying in the club. Alright, that sounds considerably less excited. So thank you. But rolling in the money, yeah, I will have cash to burn. Not really, but I will have something. Finally, a new desk. That'll take a while. I am making below minimum wage. So, not actually, but I'm making less than the country's standard for minimum wage right now. So, no new desk in the cards anytime soon. Maybe a new mic at the very least, if I could find a good... I don't even know what the good kind... There's like the USB mics, and then there's the other kind that's better, but you have to get like an interface to plug it into. I forget what those are called. DAC mics? I don't know. I forget. Some dedicated mic would be nice, though. And I'll buy something from Swan's shop to reimburse her for the headset, and she can't stop me from doing that. That's the beauty of it. She can't, unless she shuts down her Etsy shop. Isn't that great? Which she won't do, because she also needs money. That's so funny how that works. Cash to burn, but no time to decide what to get. Well, I have all the time in the world. Just get a desk. That would make me... I'm not getting a desk. Them things are too expensive. Or a keyboard tray. That I would consider. Probably get one of those for like a mountable keyboard tray. Let me see what that'll run me on average. Mountable keyboard tray. God, these are like $100. Okay, there's some for like $40. That's way better. Some of these are $150. Why? Oh wait, actually this one does look sick. It's a keyboard tray, but it's like it's on like one of those microphone boom arms that you can move around and articulate. So I could move my mic around, and I could just sort of move my keyboard around all willy-nilly if I felt like it. That would be pretty sick. Clamp-on keyboard tray. It's like $40, $30. Here's one for $20. Yeah, they're within range now. But this Vivo articulating keyboard and mouse platform wall mount for $100, it looks pretty sick. It looks pretty. I'm gonna go to the browser. Take a look at that. Get a load of this thing. Amazon, give me that. Whoa! Get a load of this. Look at that. 360-degree swivel. 14.5-inch height adjustment. You could do whatever the heck this is. I don't even... What Orwellian horror is that Big Brother spying on you through your wall-mounted monitor? Got a roll of paper towels and nothing else in your sterile house? What are you doing? With your $5 million NASA computer sitting next to you? Can you rest your arm on that? I would. That's a whole arm. Yeah, get a load of that. Was this a doctor's office? I guess that makes sense. Great for offices, hospitals, workshops, and more. Measurements. Up to 17 pounds. A weird gamer PC with no cables? Yeah, what the heck is this? Some sort of quantum computer? Anyway, I've died and gone to hell. No, I would definitely go to... probably purgatory. Has my music stopped? Has it taken this long? It did. In light of Silksong being delayed, we will play a little bit of Hollow Knight, pour one out for the boys. Why are you so quiet? They just sell this stuff, they don't consult IT beforehand. Hell's too good for you? Hell's probably... Well, I'm not getting into heaven without... I've done some stuff. Not like hell-worthy stuff. I haven't like killed somebody or coveted thy neighbor's wife or whatever. Whatever some of those things are. But I have stolen some stuff. From what I understand, God doesn't like that when you do that. It wasn't anything major. It was my cousin's Nintendo DS cartridge for Pokemon Diamond. But I still feel bad about it to this day. So I think I would have to repent for that in some kind of afterlife. I think. I didn't steal anyone's cattle. That being said, though, since I do live in upstate New York with my parents, if I look out far enough into my backyard to my right here out my window, I can see a field. And one time, a cow did wander on down from that field into our backyard. Promptly relieve himself in our lawn, and then proceeded to run around the street for hours until the cops wrangled it. So that was a fun morning. That was a really fun, interesting morning, I think. You ever get to watch policemen wrangle a cow on your road? I don't think so. That cow would have had to walk pretty far, too, because that field is, like, over a mile. And then the field, he must have come from a farm beyond that field. There's, like, a tunnel that goes under a freeway where like, another bit of the farm continues. I have. It's pretty fun, though. No cows are relatively rare where I live, at least. Do you live in... Oh, that's right, Germany. If I'm not mistaken. Cows are super common here. Yeah, I do be living in suburbia. Borderline rural New York. So there do be cows. And a lot of vineyards, a lot of wineries around here. For the wine moms like my own that I have. When I visit my mother cows, when I visit my mother, cows on the fields are like the indication of summer. I had to process that one. I live in the capital of cheese in the U.S. Yeah, the soil is too good for grass to grow. They rather grow wheat and stuff. You freaking privileged individual. We're growing actual crops and stuff. We don't need your stinking cattle. I get it. I see how it is. It's fine. Whatever. No, it's fine. No, we grow wheat and stuff, he said, with his top half falling slightly off of his monocle. No, it's fine. We have to grow grass so that we pollute the atmosphere like 400 times faster than if we just grew like corn everywhere, or chicken even. I like how we all decided beef was the route we were going to go, and that's like the least economical thing you could grow and raise and develop into an industry. Are you dabbing? In my chat room? Are you dabbing at me? I've crashed my own Twitch chat again. My screen is black. It's back! Black is back. Ba-do-do-do. What have I even done this stream? I've done nothing. I'm so bad at art. It's getting a little spooky in the Hollow Knight soundtrack. It actually depends. How so? When the soil is bad or the area is too mountainous, growing grass for cattle is actually the best way to go, but I'm nerding over here. Like, I don't know. I don't know too much about the soil or agriculture in general or how to raise cattle with proper soil conditions. So I'm all open to any information on the topic so that I am less, what they say, ignorant. Less of an ignoramus. Less of a Harold Ramis. Is that his name? Harold Ramis. Yeah, that's the actor. Yeah, got it in one. I don't know, either only read a book on how to fertilize properly. Sometimes that's all you need. I took one college course in anthropology, and I do be bringing up stuff from that course sometimes. Just a little bit of knowledge it'll be more deadly than you could ever imagine with it. Knowledge is power, even if it's just a little bit and haphazardly remembered in a book once. I like how my mom always says around this time, before she goes back to work, because I do see her on her lunch breaks. She's like, get some sleep, and I'm like, yep, and then I go live stream immediately afterwards, because I'm an adult. I can be irresponsible on my own, thanks. Mother. This looks as though she has a hat on. That's kind of just big hair. It's a problem. Am I going too far in a few places? Mayhaps. But that's how it go. Stylistic decision. As long as I say stylistic decision, maybe perhaps a bit more clearly than I just did, but as long as I say that at least a few times, then it's fine. To know. Well, yeah, that's the beauty of this comic. You don't have to know. I want to know what's behind the door. Maybe someday you'll find out. Actually, it'll be on the very next page you find out what's behind the door. Look, she's opening it right now. Whoa! But that's for probably, considering the pace I am currently making these pages, that'll probably be next year that we'll find out. Hmm. Some of my favorite manga characters have hair that looks like a hat. You ever seen Jotaro? Surely everyone knows about that guy. That's like the whole point of his character, is that his dang hair looks like a hat. Or his hat looks like his hair. Kind of a similar thing, but it's the same concept. But also not. That's just an excuse that I'm using. Jotor? Yeah, some guy named Jotor. Jotaro. Of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, perhaps? Maybe you've heard of him. He's a bit world-renowned. Are you talking about Jotaro? Yeah. There's a baseball game named, the baseball guy named like that? Jotor. Like the browser? That I know nothing about. I was indeed talking about Jotaro. The big angry man that he is. I see. What do you mean you see? Why do you sound so insidious about this? A not fellow baseball enjoyer? Yeah, I don't even know what baseball is, I'll be honest with you. Is it Randy Orton who threw the baseball at a bird and exploded it? Baseball, bird, pitch. Randy Johnson. That's the one. Who's Randy Orton? Who the heck is Randy Orton? That's a wrestler. Okay. Nobody listened to anything I said. Unless I'm in the corrective stage of the statement. Basically, if I'm going to start a sentence, just mute the stream for 30 seconds, and then by that point you can unmute, and I will probably be saying the corrective version of the thing I started saying. Okay, turning off your ears. Okay, just make sure to turn them back on in a bit, where I will be saying what I meant to originally say. It's going to get confusing. That's just how you have to watch the stream. If you don't want to be fed wrong information that I will correct in about 15 seconds. It's just how it goes here. Alternatively, I could not listen. Works great too. I'll gut you like a fish. I will. I'll do it. It's going to get real messy. I see your character talking, but I cannot hear you. Huh. You see my character talk? Oh yeah, my guy. My PNG tuber, my Gabino. Try it. Try what? Gutting you? I made of singular bones like the goddamn camel. I've taught you too much. I taught you too well. You've learned all my secrets. And for that you must die. This music shall be fitting as accompaniment for our final battle. Can't kill something that's already died. How did you freaking die? Oh yeah, we did. The lore is that you're a ghost now. I did forget. Don't worry, I remembered. I forgot you were a bit of a poultrygeist. Sent here to haunt me for something that I can't remember. I even froze your hair. You can't freeze what is already frozen. Frozen 2, The Wrath of Elsa. That was a good movie. Everyone watched it. It's definitely real. Didn't just make that up. That was more the first movie anyway. In movie number 2, she kind of just ends colonialism. Or something. I don't know. I never saw it. I saw the clips. Yeah, his one hair is now frozen. I'll have you know it's a several hairs in one strand, okay? I'm not bald yet. There's a lot of hair up there. It's just all in one spot. Don't get it twisted. Squints, what's wrong? Still no listening? Alright, I see how this is going. You can't just selectively mute yourself. I see what's happening here. I'm gonna sue. I have a lawyer. I don't have a lawyer. But if I did... Selective hearing is a powerful thing. It really is, especially when it's it bleeds over into selective reading, which it has sometimes already while I'm streaming. I will not deny this. Sometimes I will have to say, like when I just completely ignored Stove that one time, and then everyone else also ignored him. Oh, yeah. You make your own reality, yeah. I can only see that is post-hair strand is gathering in one spot. Therefore, I deduct this strand, as you call it. It's just a singular hair which gets really big in the middle. Checkmate Watson. Well, you know what? I can't even... Are you making fun of someone who is half deaf and has auditory hallucinations? I see. I didn't do anything. Get the police out of here. Spraying me with stuff? I don't need any of this. Actually, I'm blending in with them. I'm one of them. I have cat ears as well, you see. Can't spray your own kind, would you? Good thing I kept these on. Otherwise, I'd be in a world of hurt right now. I got a Twitter notification from Doki Doki Literature Club. Oh! It's a very lewd fan art of Monica. I didn't expect that to be what that was. Thank you, Twitter. I don't even click on those posts. I still get them. You'd find another excuse, don't you worry, you know me too well. I would. That's my entire modus operandi, is finding excuses. Wow, so those are the accounts you follow. I literally don't even click on those posts anymore. Ever since I found out that even just clicking on the notifications to like mute those accounts just tells the algorithm that you interact with those type of accounts. It's like, what kind of backwards system are we running here? And yet they still just freaking, to this day, they're sending me that stuff. And I'm still not clicking on it, and I'm still getting it. Swan, you can check my follow list. I'm pretty sure you and like 4 other people are on it, so... If any of those results are showing up as a result of my followers, I think I have someone to blame. Someone I have to ask a few questions to. You clicked on the lewd just now. I didn't. It's in my pop-up notifications on my phone. I didn't click on anything. I'm just looking at it. because they give you a little preview image that shows up automatically. I didn't click on it. It's just there in my pop-up notifications. She sensed that you looked at her. Now she'll be everywhere she would. That is in character. Honestly, I don't know what the protagonist of DDLC was even worried about. Being trapped in a void with a pretty lady for the rest of your days. There are worse fates, I think. She was a sparkling conversationalist. She had control of this reality that you both lived in. You could have just made a second life in there. Wouldn't even have been that bad, I don't think. As long as you promised to be her boyfriend, I think everything would have been fine. Breaking news. Streamer is a simp for a digital video game female who doesn't even know he's real. That's what this song always reminds me of, is a breaking news type beat. Local bird streamer feeds dog string on a daily basis. When will this menace be stopped? More at 11. Now for sports. Breaking news, there is nothing going on in the world. A first in all of history. We are actually stopping the news broadcast for today. Have more PBS Kids or something. I don't know, new rerun of Arthur, I guess. Breaking news, the simping streamer has cat ears. Oh wait, that's normal. It's not normal. So instead we show you cute kittens instead for 10 minutes. Honestly, the world, it would be a place. Maybe even a better one. Alright, she is now lifting, well, in the image she's lifting a wood block, but since there's nothing here in the line art, I guess she could be lifting anything. Any chat requests for what she could be delicately caressing? Nothing too extreme. I have a reputation to uphold. As ridiculous as that would sound to some of you. It would indeed be a place. It would be one of the places of all time. A baguette. Well, isn't that like just riddled with innuendo and double entendre? Why would you immediately go for that? I mean, I'll do it if no other requests come up. But I'm peering at you with a steely gaze. Breaking news. Our news reporters are all burnt out since there's nothing to report on, but they tried their entire last week to find anything. Without sleeping, drinking, or eating. What? You have a dirty mind, no wonder they say you lose. You're the one who said baguette. I said gently caressing, and you said baguette. What do you want me to do with that? Which direction is she holding? Is it parallel to the hand or perpendicular to the hand? I'm gonna need some guidance here. Diagonal, maybe? What's wrong with bread? Nothing. Now she's just kind of holding an abstract concept of graphical calculations. You're gonna need a. She's holding axes right now, Swan. You gotta give me information. This man over here, 40. She's holding the fourth dimension, Swan. Quickly, things are gonna collapse in on themselves if you don't hurry. She's holding math. She kind of is. She's holding the entirety of a calculus class in the palm of her hands. Give her a pro. Now it's a pro controller. I thought it was a baguette. It's non-existent yet. It's still there. It's a wonder nobody is tied yet. See if I can remember what a pro controller looks like. This could be pretty simple. This is not how you hold a Pro Controller, by the way. I play Smash Bros, and this is not it, Chief. You got your little home buttons, your little plus button, your little minus button, you got your D-pad. On the left there, you got your little face buttons. You don't like bread, apparently? We had to change it. I love bread, just not the shape that you chose. You got your ZL and your ZR buttons, because those are a thing Nintendo puts on things. Actually, no, they moved them underneath. That they're like regular triggers, I remember now. It's only on the Joy-Cons that they're like the weird little buttons. Sheep Rabs holding frankincense containers for church. I wish I even knew what those looked like. I know as hard as it is to believe, I never went to church. That might shock some of you, based on my overtly Catholic demeanor. My very puritanical streamer vibe that I put out there, but it's not true. I've never gone to church. She is in fact a gamer girl now. Kind of. If this is how you play video games, I'd recommend you see someone, perhaps with a professional degree in medicine. They have chains and then dangle around. Nice. She could be if I looked it up real quick. Frankincense. I'm just getting a lot of pictures of rocks and oil. Frankincense for church. It's still a bunch of rocks. Oh, there it is. I see it. The urn that they're in now. I see it. I found it. Okay. Whatever this container is called, I have found what you are referring to. It's a frankincense burner. I got it. Thank you for the archived JPEG, though. I will click on it. Oh, malware. Oh, you shouldn't have. Yeah, no, I found it. Thank you for the burner reference. I have now discovered what this is called, and I have found images for what they are. The incense itself is just a bunch of stones and oil, but the burner is much cooler looking. It's a virus, don't worry. Yeah, I found out. Thanks. Now I'm on a mailing list for several nefarious websites. The kind that only Swan would visit. Featuring baguettes or something. I don't know. Whatever they do on those weirdo websites. I'm not the one getting lewd. That's just Twitter. That's not my fault, and you know it. Whoa, I gave her a freaking Chad jawline. Yeah, I give her no. I like strong ladies, but if they have a jaw like the Crimson Chin, I believe it or not, a little too far for me. Not into that whole. The Crimson Chin has a bit. He's too much. Didn't know that was a thing. What thing? Crimson Chin? Because that's a thing for sure. The Crimson Chin, yeah, he's one heck of a character. Probably the best parts of, one of the best parts about early Fairly Odd Parents. Before the show, from what I hear, I didn't watch it throughout its entire runtime because I got older and started watching more mature programming like anime. But the show apparently very rapidly declined in quality. But in the old days, the Crimson Chin was a freaking goated character. I don't know if they did anything with him. Completely forgot about this guy. I could never forget this guy. He is ingrained in my cerebral cortex, which I'm pretty sure is not even where memories are stored, but... Oh yeah, I'm looking at him now. What a freaking guy. You guys remember the part of Hollow Knight where it turns into Mission Impossible? Me neither, but this soundtrack certainly does. The Chin deeply affected you. I will never forget it. I mean, they say if you can get a 5-year-old to draw your character and you can still recognize it, it's an iconic character design, and I think everybody could remember the Crimson Chin if like you had that playing on your TV as a child. It's like drawing Sonic's spikes or Mario's hat and overalls. It's so easy. Big old chin, muscular man, done. Red suit, iconic character design, silhouette challenge, mission accomplished. If you get Alzheimer's and can't eat anymore, you will still remember the Crimson Chin. That's how deeply ingrained he is, right? I think I would remember how to eat. I think that is a motor skill that is ingrained within me. I don't think I'll forget that one. I'm saying ingrained a lot. To be fair, even though he has a glorious chin, it doesn't look out of place. Pretty amazing. Yeah, I know, it's weird. I think it has to do with his cartoonish muscular proportions anyway. You can kind of just get away with anything. He's a really big man. So a big chin is only befitting of a man like him, of his stature. Dahlia, what is going on with your freaking hair? Is it that I'm drawing it, perhaps? Is that the issue? That's probably the issue. This song is so weird. Oh, you guys, before I end stream, I gotta introduce you guys to one of my favorite OSTs of recent memory. I just remembered it. There's this game called Wild Frost. It's a bit of a roguelite deck builder game, but the OST is freaking nuts. It's great. I'm just gonna play the whole thing. A little loud. The soundtrack is awesome, and this game is also awesome. Very highly recommend. I will type the name of the game in chat if anyone's interested in this OST later. I will look it up, thank you. You are welcome. But yeah, this soundtrack is freaking sick. I love like every track on this thing. Composed by a man named Paul Zimmerman. A sick track for a deck builder we love to see. I know, it's freaking great. And the game has a killer art style too. This is like the perfect little coalescence of just really cool things to see in an indie game, and it does it all right. All of it is done correctly. I wishlisted the game, it looks good. If you'll notice, the review, I'm sure the reviews have improved, but when this game first dropped, for like the first week, the reviews were mixed, and it was just everybody being a baby about the game being too hard. And that was very funny to look at, as somebody who was interested in the game regardless, and who likes playing masochism games anyway, as indicated by the Fear and Hunger stream that we did earlier this week. Was it earlier this week? Probably earlier this week. But I don't think it's even a masochist game. I think people were just rushing to the game and then being like, I don't know how to play it, therefore it's bad and it's too hard. But now I think people are figuring it out. And it's gotten better in terms of the review scores. We need our card games to beat us up. Yeah, I don't even know what people were mad about. Like, obviously it's going to have a learning curve. It's a roguelite deck builder. They always do this. Hasn't anyone played Slay the Spire? I have for too many hours. For far too long. I'm still bad at it, though. Deck builders are those games where it's like, it feels like no matter how long I play them, I will be bad at them forever. I cannot improve at them. My brain can only go so far. Oh god, this soundtrack, though. It will carry me to victory. When I am bloodied and beaten and crawling towards the finish line, it will elevate me off the ground. Carry me those final few feet. Our roguelikes, the epitome of learning curves, isn't that their whole gig? Yeah, basically. I don't know why people in the community who claim to like those games get so upset when one of them is even a little bit challenging. It happens like all the time. It's like, do you even like roguelites? Or like, what are you doing here? Calling a roguelike hard. You must be new here. Didn't you play Binding of Isaac? Dummy? Enter the Gungeon, perhaps? Rogue Legacy? Any one of them. All of these. They apply. I need to fix your dang face here, lady. Just a wee bit, just a little bit is all. This must be the village theme. Snow Dwell, sorry. I don't like roguelikes for that reason. I'm sure there's some easier ones out there. Some that are more meant to be played for fun. Should make her rounder, like so she is only a ball. That'll fix it for sure. I could just do that. That'd make a lot of my character design decisions a lot easier. And then this is just the character. You know, the problem is there's people out there would definitely prefer this for all of the wrong reasons. Not playing games for fun. I play them for validation. From myself. Oh, one of the killer tracks is popping up. Nice. No, that's too pointed. Looking like Madonna over here. Let me fix that for you. Excuse me, Clip Studio, could you not play her expression? I was thinking, though, since I am going to start working full-time, I was thinking about buying a Steam Deck for once. I've never really had money to ponder that idea before, but it would be cool to actually be able to play video games anywhere. And I don't want to just be playing Switch games all the time in public. I'm not 7 years old, I don't actually have that complex, but, you know, I am going to run out of games. At some point, I think after I get through Zelda, I won't have much to play portably outside of some 3DS games in my backlog. Steam Deck, are those good? Apparently they're very good. Steam Deck is a good choice. See, very good. Does it have to be online all the time? I don't know too much about it. Nope. It's basically just a smaller PC. Just like a portable version of a PC that you can put your Steam Deck. They have, if you buy the higher end ones, they have SSD storage too. It's like really fast. You can get, I think you can get like 5 512 gigabytes maximum on their SSD for the fastest one they have, which is really cool. And then you can even expand the storage more with micro SD cards, and micro SD cards go up to like multiple hundreds of gigabytes, maybe even terabytes by now. I don't know, I haven't looked. I'm sure terabyte micro SD cards exist now. Terabyte micro SD card. Oh yeah, they're for sure a thing. It's like a portable PC. You can even run emulators. It's neat. You can even hook it up to your monitor, and it can just be a PC. But it's portable. And which games can you play on it? Anything, any Steam game? I'm pretty sure you can get other launchers to run on it too. Any Epic Store games, any like, I don't know, Battle.net games you want. It's basically just another PC, but it's portable. And it has pretty decent specs from what I understand. Depending on which one you buy, of course. There's different levels that have different specs. Depending on how much money you put into it, of course. My best friend may have an emulator, so she can play games with me for the Switch. May or may not, perhaps. Have an emulator, I see. She's really good with Linux, which is what the Steam Deck runs on. Is it Linux? I had no idea. I heard you could sort of like root it, or whatever the term for that is, to get kind of any operating system you want on there, though. It is just like any PC, so it's really customizable in that sense, if you have the know-how to just sort of boot up anything you want. It's a UI-friendly Linux, I see. So out of the box, it is a Linux device. I get it now. Oh yeah, I heard that it was being used in Ukrainian war because it can run on Linux? That's nuts. No GPU, though? What do you mean it doesn't have GPU? Does everything through the CPU? Apparently it does pretty dang good then. From what I have heard, if it's only the CPU, it must be a pretty dang good CPU. I wouldn't be playing anything too intense on it anyway, since I would be using it portably. Maybe Street Fighter 6 would be like the most intense thing I would play on it. And it would probably run it better than my actual PC. Depending on the model, they do have GPUs. That's probably, yeah, maybe... If I were to get one, I would definitely get the most expensive one. I know that sounds just like... Well, aren't you just making decisions right now that you can't even back up with money? It's like, yes, I am. But that would be my preference, of course. Because I read all the features. They have, you know, fastest SSD storage, the most storage, antique layer etched glass, or whatever they said. Depending on the model, they do have GPUs. Okay, on the website I can only find one spec sheet. Oh, never mind. He's found the other spec sheets, I wager. Am dumb. Steam Decks you can buy brand new all have M2 SSDs from 64 up into 512. I know, that was pretty cool to see. I would definitely want the 512 though. I'm very paranoid about storage. My own PC right now, part of the reason I would want a Steam Deck is because even right now my PC is like almost maxed out on storage, which is making me very uncomfortable for the day where I can no longer justify having all these files that I do. I don't think I even have that many files on my computer. It's just finally catching up with me, the technological limits of what I want to do. Like make a bunch of Clip Studio Paint files into a comic, and also store some Steam games on here. Install Arc and your storage is full. Brother, I could install like a quarter of Arc. Buy an external hard drive. I'm already using one on my PlayStation 5. I can't move it around. I have to buy more stuff, but that's so much money. I'm working minimum wage jobs. BRB phone call? Fine. Take your phone call. See if I care. Harumph, I say. My another you earn money now, I own 3? Well, that sounds like you're irresponsible, that. Yeah, I probably should. I should at the very least back up these comic pages onto a place other than my PC and Google Drive. I think I have a USB literally sitting on this desk somewhere. Oh yeah, there it is. Found it. What is this, 32 gigabytes? That's enough to hold comic book pages for a while. I could probably just literally plug this in, like after stream, and then I could just put all my stuff on it. Wouldn't even be that hard. So maybe I'll do that. I don't know. Before I go to sleep. Maybe I'll do it while I'm sleeping if I'm lucky. Yeah, do that. My goodness, maybe I will. I figure for now 2 places is good enough. I got Google Drive and I got my PC. That's better than 1 place. It's 2 places, in fact. We just learned about math earlier, or at least the concept of it. 2 is more than 1. You stress yourself out and then you stress me out. I don't stress myself out. I'm just irresponsible and I've learned to be apathetic towards everything, which is not probably the healthiest way to think about things. But I don't get stressed out. I just get angry when things go wrong and then I wonder why, and I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't do any semblance of preparation or preventative measures. Ah, it's all coming together now. Surely this won't happen again when I learn no lessons at all. It's got better connectors than some laptops nowadays. You just said your memory storage being almost full stresses you out. On my computer, yeah, being full almost stresses me out, but losing any of my files is not a concern for me. I'm gonna fight you. Yeah, no, you're right. You did get me there. It being full stresses me out. But that's about it. I thought we had deviated topics to something I have control over, which implies that I don't have control over how full my PC is, which to an extent feels true, but I know isn't true. You know, there's stoicism, only care about the things that you can control. It feels like I can't control when stuff just keeps showing up in my PC storage. Even though I know what's doing it, it's every time I make a comic page and I add more megabytes, or every time I install 1 Steam game. Steam games take up so much space. Like, what's up with that? How many polygons you gotta have in there? Why can't every video game be a PS1 demake that takes up like 50 megabytes? Fit it on the iOS store, easy. You know you can also uninstall games. I have uninstalled so many of them. I'm gonna see how many I have installed on my desktop right now. I have, let's see. I have like 10. I used to have like 30 on this desktop. I have cut back so much. And most of these aren't even big. Some of them are like Slay the Spire, which is a small deck builder game. One of these is Super Auto Pets, and if you've seen that game, you know it's definitely a very small game. I've full screened my OBS instead of my Clip Studio. You'll need more external hard drives anyway because you make YouTube vids of your VODs. I don't even need to, you know what's funny about that? I don't even need to store those to my computer. I just automatically export them from Twitch to YouTube. I have a drive dedicated to VODs because they're so chunky. I don't even need to do that. You don't even need to do that either. You can just export it from Twitch to YouTube. You don't play 10 games simultaneously? Get out of here. What do you mean? Yes, I do. At least 3 of them. I play like 3 games simultaneously. One of them is Fear and Hunger nowadays. And that's also a small game. I do it because I want to make highlight reels. If I ever want to do that, I'll just go to the website that lets me download YouTube videos. And then I'll do it that way. The quality might be a little worse because, you know, the more you download a YouTube video, the worse it gets in quality. It's like a JPEG, but for like an MP4 file. But I'm not too concerned about video quality right now, as you can imagine. Because I'm not getting paid, and I don't really have, and I'm doing a sparkly hand gesture here, an audience. That being said, I have a few videos on my channel that I think I accidentally clickbaited people into watching. I don't know if they watched anything past like 30 seconds of the VOD, but I have a video. We're your audience, you're 15 people. I find that hard to believe. This man out here doesn't appreciate his fan. Do you watch my YouTube videos, Swan, after you watch the streams? Be honest. Are you part of my YouTube audience or not? You have to be truthful with me right now. I was talking about my YouTube audience. If you watch my VODs and my YouTube videos, or you watch my streams and my YouTube videos, why would I watch both? That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the YouTube audience specifically. If you watched both of them, I would have called you a psychopath. I didn't see the hand gesture because I would have to get my lenses. The YouTube vids are for people who don't watch your streams. I know. That's why I said the YouTube audience. I don't have an audience on YouTube. As I was saying, I think I accidentally clickbaited some people into watching a couple of my YouTube videos, because one of them was titled, Elven Lady Gets Character Designed, parentheses gone wrong, and that stream is one of my worst streams, because I think I was very sleepy, but it has like 15 views for no reason, no likes. I doubt anyone even watched past the first 30 seconds. I don't know why they would. I don't blame them for dropping out of that one. That was a bad VOD. I was very sleepy. You clickbait? I clickbait like all of my video titles. I think 3 VODs in a row. One of them was called Making the Best Webcomic Ever, and then the second one was Making the Worst Webcomic Ever, and then the third one was Making the Most Mid Webcomic Ever, and I just uploaded all 3 of those in a row. I think on the same day, because I'm very inconsistent with my upload schedule. Amazing. Yeah, I'm very good at YouTube in the worst way possible. And then the other one that kind of blew up. Hold on, let me go to my. I actually can just go to my YouTube channel. And I can see which videos are popping off for no reason. Designing the Huntress has 11 views. Elven Lady Character Gets Designed Gone Wrong now has 18 views, up from the 15 it had this morning. Why? I hate this VOD. It's an hour and a half of me being silent. No one, I think nobody stopped in for chat. I don't know. Stove might have been lurking, but even I doubt it. And I was just talking like how I was very sleepy, and then I stopped streaming after like an hour and a half. It was a short stream, and it has like 18 views. That's not a good example of the quality of my character. I swear I can talk about things in a more energetic and interesting way than just talking for like an hour about how I'm gonna go to bed. What else do we got? Art stream working on my end screen has 10 views. Art stream working on my starting soon screen has 15 views. I mean, Huntress, you know, yeah, I guess the acknowledgement that they would be seeing a female woman in the video. That was enough. Designing a female? Do tell. Do show. There are the boobs you so desired for views. Yeah, there may or may not be those in the thumbnail. She is fully clothed, but she does have those. Character designing a huntress has 8 views. Huntress design continues has 10 views. Everyone likes the... If you just put huntress in the title of your video, apparently the algorithm, people are into that. Art stream designing another character for the comic has 7 views. If you just put character design in your title, apparently that's pretty good. That's what artists are looking for. Character design seems to be a popular term for art streams. Anyway, what was I doing? Art? Okay. Fine. I will. I mean, the thumbnail is not too bad. Are you looking at my thumbnails? Did I link my YouTube on my Twitch? Is there even any way to access? Oh yeah, I did. It's in my About section. I forgot. It's in my panels. I was. Yeah. Honestly, I think the Elven Lady character design one, that one is the most suggestive of the thumbnails. And that's just because I was too lazy to use the, well, soundtrack skip. I was too lazy to use the Fae design where she has clothes on, like whatever fully detailed outfits. So I just drew a couple lines over the base one that I did. So she's kind of just wearing like a tube top, a skin-tight tube top for censorship purposes. So maybe I kind of get why that one was picked up on by some people. I was curious about your YouTube. You shouldn't be. You're seeing my YouTube right now, basically. This is what happens on my YouTube. I was considering putting in some effort and doing like some highlight vids, but I no longer have any time. I will have even less time in the future when I go full-time in my job that actually makes me money. Baiting with the lewds on accident because I'm so lazy. It was accidental baiting. Alright, put down the Joy-Con, lady. That page, though? What, this page? Like, as a whole, as a collective? She walks, then grabs a Pro Controller, and then opens something. Yeah, she grabs a Pro Controller, and then opens a door. She puts the Pro Controller, if that's what it's called, so I've been told. And then she opens something completely different. Oh yeah, I have to put this on here. Whoops, I gotta get this out of full screen. There we go. Can I take these cat ears off now? I'm doing it anyway. I can blink again. And that's the sound of blinking when you haven't done it for hours. He blinks again. He's unstoppable. Forgot they held back your eyelids. They do. It's so painful. It's truly a heinous contraption befit for only the most vile of torturers. They use them as methods of interrogation in this prison. I leave and he decatifies himself. How dare, I'm sorry. They were holding back my eyelids for so long. I just needed to blink once. The cats are disappointed. No. They shouldn't be. What I was doing was akin to cultural appropriation. They should have been disappointed in me. Alright, how much longer can I do this for? A little bit. I almost finished the whole page. I just got to draw like a couple eyes in profile. That's not even too hard. I almost said eyes in prolapse, and that would have been horrifying. It's already a terrible image. Just imagining that. Not what I would have said. But it is what I did say, because if I had to think about that as an image, you have to think about that as an image. Yeah, you're welcome. You're so very welcome. That's what you get coming to this stream. You get the idea of an eye in prolapse. What does that even mean? I don't know. What, why? Why would you do that? Because if I thought it, I don't want to be alone thinking this vile thought. They had the similar letters at the beginning of the word, and that's all it takes. I had this conversation with a friend of the stream, Roko Art, when we were playing Monster Hunter. I was telling him all about how my brain is really messed up recently. I think it might be partially because of the sleep deprivation, where I will just take words with like the same first syllable and then just say a completely different word because my brain thinks of all the possible words I could say, deviating from that first syllable, and I just say the wrong one. And I don't know why. It's like the mental equivalent of dyslexia. I hate it. Hate it so much. Stop that. No. I can't. It's just who I am. Pretty normal for me. I feel like it's a common occurrence, but it is very annoying. Lady, what's your mouth look like? What'd I draw your mouth? Alright, so you got the little pronounced bottom lip. Nothing on the top lip. I like to swap words which start with the same letters. Yeah, I don't freaking know why it happens. It's not conducive to anything. Evolutionarily, it's to my detriment, being able to communicate worse than I would have otherwise. Fine, I'll just be over here licking a meteorite, huh? I see. That's better than envisioning an eye in prolapse. To you? Is that how you prefer to spend your time? Can't believe this. I'm gonna keep saying it too. I don't know why. I'm just gonna keep saying it out loud. This feeling could also be something like, oh, this word sounds French, and then I say veneer instead of laminate. This is very Vermeer. Vermeer? What did I say? That's not even anything. Now I'm just saying things that aren't even words. Interesting. It's a bold new direction. I was thinking of Johannes Vermeer, who is Dutch, not French. He did that painting of the lady with the pearl earring, probably some other stuff, but that's the only one I know him for. My concern for you grows. Well, I can't even say it's misplaced, because I am also concerned. There's nothing I can do about it. Could go to sleep, I guess. See if that does anything. Rare has yet to actually show any sign of improvement. Did we get the whole OST out of the way? I do like that game's OST. But yeah, I think we did. We listened to the whole thing. Very good OST. Wild Frost, by the way. Interesting game as well. I've watched some gameplay of it. I haven't played it myself, but I plan to very soon. Maybe on stream? I don't know. What can I play for the end of stream? Relaxing Zelda for honor of Tears of the Kingdom launching later today if you're in Australia, which every streamer will pretend to be. You get a game on stream. I've done it a couple times, rarely, but yeah, perhaps I will play Wild Frost on stream at some point. I don't normally announce when I'm doing game streams separate because it's usually just like an hour-long segment I tack on to the end of an art stream or like half an hour. Frankly, I'm glad that somebody would have missed it if they caught my last gaming segment, because it was Fear and Hunger, which is a very not safe for work video game with a lot of triggering content in it. So if you missed that one, good. I'm glad. Frankly. It's 3 a.m. for me or something. I could totally watch that. It comes out at 11 p.m. tonight for me. Nice. We need more Fear and Hunger streams. I think, honestly, if I'm going to beat Fear and Hunger, I would need a chat to encourage me. Because beating that game by myself, it's been rough. I'll tell you. I have wanted to cry, only a couple times, but that is a couple times more than I would have liked to have almost cried playing that game. Just being like, oh no, I didn't chop off his arm in the first attack. Now he's gonna chop off my arm. I would encourage you without spoiling, but also laugh at you. Yeah, no, feel free to laugh. That game is meant to be laughed at, especially at the expense of anyone playing it. If that's encouraging, I just need any bit of brevity and levity, all of that. I need any of it while I'm playing that game. To be honest, as someone who plays a triggering game every week, people still show up, so I'm sure he will have support. I don't think you fully understand how triggering Fear and Hunger tries to be, and how triggering it is successful at being. I'm pretty sure last stream, and we only played it for like an hour, get added Zotenyo, what's going on, Mask? Become hungry and fearful? Maybe I will. Last stream, I got all of my limbs chopped off. I was sodomized. That was another thing that happened. And as a result of that sodomization, I suffered anal bleeding. I stumbled upon a free love society of nudist bunny mask wearing harem individuals. That was a thing. I was punctured multiple times by prison guards with stingers, that is in air quotes, stingers, that they have, placed exactly where you think it would be on their body, with that kind of illusion, and just a plethora of undesirable things to look at and experience. And that was just in 1 hour. It was crazy. I went down a rabbit hole yesterday. What rabbit hole did you go down? See what Chad is missing out on? Yeah, that was just 1 hour of that game. It was nuts. I want to buy that godforsaken game. No, do not do it. Umi Neko's writer is a former social worker. I want to play the Dark Mage. The Dark Priest is a freaking goober. I can never figure out how to recruit that guy. Maybe I haven't gotten far enough yet. There's a lot of questionable things, I'm sure. Become one with a ghoul. Don't become one with a ghoul. I say that as your friend. I say that as your as a caring individual. Do not become one with a ghoul. I want to fight that crow mask guy. Now that is a bold strategy. I have heard about the crow guy. I've only run away from him, but I have heard he's a tough encounter. And I would have imagined so, because every time he steps into a room that you're in, it says a terrifying presence has entered the room. And you just hear him going, and he's just coming after you, and it's like, oh, that's not terrifying at all. Maybe I will just run away to the next portion of the level. It's just booming and echoing throughout the entire level. So, yes, I will leave immediately, thank you. I was planning on looting this location, but since he's in the room, I shall go and be on my way. I'll find loot elsewhere. Here, take mine, and then I'll just leave it in a bag for him while I run away. I have an old egg and a few red herbs that are useless to me. Have fun with them, Crowman. It unlocks something pretty good. I have heard about that. No spoilers. But I have heard, through hushed whispers on certain forums that I browsed only for a minute to figure out one thing. Which was, how to not get killed by the dogs for the first 10 minutes. I will admit I looked that up because I could not for the life of me figure out how to get away from those idiots. Hate them. So annoying. Look guys, aren't you proud of me? I drew a panel here, and there's not even like a full person in there, there's just a hand. That's economical storytelling. Now, did I cut off half of the panel that was already there to replace it with a hand, even though I had already drawn something underneath it before? Yes, but in the future, I'm going to consider that, and I will end up doing less work as a result instead of more work accidentally. I think they can't go through the path on the left. That depends on which layout you get, because the game has a random selection from the layer, or from the levels that you can get. The layout can shift from run to run. It's a pretty fingery hand, I know. Pretty proud of that one. Gotta shrink your eyeballs a little bit, mate. Pop this one over here. The stairs to the basement, I think that one doesn't change. I wouldn't know the specifics of what changes and what doesn't. But you might be right. There, he looks better with his shrunken eyes. They were too big, bulging out of his head even. Let's flip the canvas to see if I did that even remotely correctly. That looks fine. It looks fine. If anything, the eyebrow's a bit strange, but you know, you don't call out your mistakes and people are less likely to notice them, so just forget you heard me say anything. One thing I do want to do is broaden this sleeve before I go off for today. Go off queen. That's the one. I finished the remake, nice. Not good, not bad, just fine. What, I heard something? What, like in real life? That's good, that means your ears are working. What have you heard? That's true, I guess I should have asked. Why did you seem so concerned about that? I heard you making a mistake. Why did you hear that? There was no audio to accompany. My mistake art sounds exactly like my normal art. O swan of the internet, bring us your wisdom. What say you to these innocent minds and souls? 'Twas a loud mistake. Alright, just give us our wisdom and we can be on our way. Alright, swan of the internet. We came all this way up this internet mountain, through an internet firewall, And now we're over here trying to get wisdom, and I'm being told I made a loud mistake. What's going on here? It's the Wizard of Oz all over again. Now I'm being sprayed again. I don't even know what for this time. This feels racially motivated. Which is my cop-out for any time I feel threatened in any capacity. Came all this way to be made fun of? Well, you're not even gonna give Mask his wisdom? He didn't even do anything. That's just ruthless. Give the boy his wisdom. I'm not leaving until he gets his wisdom. A nugget of truth, even. No, Mask now knows that you made a mistake. That's enlightening. Alright. Do as I say, not as I do. That is what I think the advice given to you, Mask, is. But in reference to what I'm doing. So, stay in school. Brush your drugs. Don't do your teeth. And with that, we can end stream with a moral for the stream firmly rooted in place. What a character arc we've all been on. Yeah, the math exam already made enough fun of all of us. Some people cried, brush your drugs. Will do. You gotta make sure they're clean, don't you? And we'll take that into account. Wait, I'm already working. What now? I don't know. Alright, thank you all for stopping by. Thanks again, Gero, for the kind raids, doing more for my stream than I ever have, even still. So maybe someday I'll freaking, I don't know, make a Discord. Maybe I'll even notify my Twitter when I'm doing anything. Have fun, God. Thank you. Thanks for your enlightenment. Smile here. Have a good one. See you later. Thank you all. Stop by tomorrow for more stuff. I am going to go to sleep and not look at this Doki Doki Literature Club lewd art. For definitely not doing that. And bye-bye.